Today's lecture is about how to write conclusions. A frequently used alternative title is conclusions or concluding remarks. We will discuss the purpose of the conclusion section, items that authors should not include or are not recommended, and finally, items that should be included in the conclusion section. First of all, the purpose of the conclusion section is to put the interpretation into the context of the original problem. Therefore, the conclusion section should be entirely based on the evidence presented in the previous sections. Because the conclusion section is for the analysis, it should refrain from repeating discussion points or including irrelevant materials. This section should not include any new information. This slide lists several items that should be excluded from the conclusion section. First, authors should avoid repeating detailed results because the conclusion section delivers 3 take-home messages that the readers can easily remember. Even if so, the conclusion section should not include a summary of discussion points for the same reason above. The conclusion should not include any irrelevant information. In most cases, irrelevant information includes new, unrelated items or random, irrelevant information. Frequent errors in the conclusion section include restating common knowledge. This section is not for repeating key concepts and principles. Citing references in the conclusion section is generally discouraged, unless there are exceptional cases. Additionally, the conclusion should not introduce new references that were not cited previously. This slide shows items that are not recommended in the conclusion section. Some authors often use the bullet point style to write conclusions, which may help some inexperienced readers. However, this style is not recommended because technical documents are within the regular literature. Usually, the very last paragraph of the conclusion includes the author's perspective. However, the conclusion should not contain future hope for the current research, unreasonable expectations without enough proof, and impractical potential, seemingly a wish. The authors should not use subjective adjectives such as excellent, wonderful, fantastic, and so forth to describe their work. Instead, the authors should use only objective facts. If they are sure that their outputs are for the first time in the world, unprecedented is allowed. Similarly, their factual outcomes and objective analysis should not be exaggerated. The conclusion section should include interpretations of your original research questions, i.e., take-home messages, which are most likely qualitative information. These interpretations should be evidence-based as they list physical and engineering meanings. The conclusions should be academically disseminable. Results in discussion are based on found and extracted information from your novel research work. The conclusions can include their qualitative interpretations, followed by your understanding. Experienced authors include a well-written last sentence based on their work, efficiently tossing their final message to readers.